Exceptional
I,
Detective. How you doing?
yes. Hello.
You're going to bring Coach Red Pill on or some shit? What?
I didn't say that. I was told by Guardian that he would come on, but I have a
Okay.
story to share if that's okay. It's a very good story.
I'm interested. If you want to go with it, go with your story, dude.
Sure. All right, so let's take a walk back. We're gonna take a good walk back. So Coach Red Pill makes his channel. I liked some of his content in the beginning, and I had no problem with him. Actually, in fact, I've never had an issue with him. And then I know the Guardian, and the Guardian was doing some weird shit with Kraut. Now, I knew about that stuff prior to that, but I didn't really care or involved in any of that stuff. But what I found fascinating was he showed me these emails and a conversation with a Professor Keen. I don't know if you know anything of what I'm talking about, but there was some economist that did some business ties with Coach, and it ended badly. The speculation of con artistry and all this other stuff has gone around. I'm sure you've heard it. I know that Guardian has thrown the contract out there and the entire conversation out there, from what I understand.
I've not,
But
honestly not seen this personally, but keep going.
right. So I started looking into some of the stuff, and I found that Coach was doing things on like RT and using his full name and information. He was running around and pretending to be people that he wasn't. First, he was an economist. Then it was a gamer, a game writer, which he never got his work used, but he tried to write a book off and sell it. Then he had two other books he put on Amazon that weren't about things that were truthful. He made up some cockamamie stories about him being involved in movies, which led to him almost getting out of a college called Dartmouth because of some rape allegations, though those are probably false. I'm not entirely sure about that one. But he kept pretending to be other people. And then his newest thing was this YouTube stuff and trying to call out other people to make views. I found that entertaining. I still do. I find it ironic that he does that. But what was funny was after I published what I had found in that, he had JF contact me and Guardian, and he had JF run around and assume that I was a part of some weird clique, some weird conspiracy theory with the Kraut stuff or used by Kraut. None of that was the case. None of that is actually, any of that is true. I did what I wanted to do because I felt it was funny, and I felt that Coach Red Pill is a untrustworthy person, a con artist. Now, he's afraid to talk to me because he knows that I know most of the shit that he's done in the past and most of the fake stuff that he's made up, including where he lived and where he actually grew up, and his weird con artist behaviors that he likes to continually push. And JF knows this too, which was weird because JF actually invited me on a stream and accused me of stuff, then threatened to make a video about doxing and using my information as a proof that terrible doxers exist out there and that we do terrible things, when in fact nobody doxed him. And I didn't even publish any of his dox information in his thread, unless you use his name with a picture from him from RT. But he likes to run around and claim these things. He likes to do this often, and while he runs con artist scams in the background. Now, I actually talked to Professor Keen, and he was willing to talk about a lot of stuff. He talked about why he wouldn't press charges, the lawsuits, how much money it would cost. He talked about how much money he lost. You can go read the emails in their entirety. I highly recommend it. What?
Who is Professor Keen?
Professor Keen is an economist that Coach, when he first got out of college, it was his first endeavor. He decided to pretend that he was an economist. And in the process of pretending he was an economist, he got in contact with a real economist who had a following that was listening to his lectures online. He had a website where he would publish his lectures. Now, at the time, Coach Red Pill had a website called like lsrsite.com, and he pitched to Keen that he would run his site for him as long as he had like 40 subscribers a day, but he would charge the subscribers like $3.99 or something. I can't remember off the top of my head, so don't quote me. I'd have to go look at it specifically, but I can't right now. But the point was, when Professor Keen started getting the receipts back, the invoices back, he started noticing that there was money. There was more money, or not enough money that was going on, and he wanted to stop it. And Coach pretended like he never received the emails for a long time and started holding the website for ransom, when in the contract it stated that he was only allowed to have the website or something of the sort. And he wanted like $5,000 or $8,000. Now CRP's changed his story like 3 different times. He said like, oh, he owed him $8,000. Then he said that the contract didn't exist another time. Then he changed it and said we were just alt-right trolls and doxers. And when then sent JFG, John Front, whatever his name is, after me and Guardian, and tried to make a video on us about being evil doxers and Kiwi farms, which I found was weird. But JF didn't follow through on that because when he had a conversation with me, he realized what was going on. But I find it entertaining because he comes on and I keep calling him out and he won't actually talk to me. He pretends like he doesn't see me calling him out. He's a big fucking pussy. And it's weird that he's ran about 5 or 6 different scams pretending to be other people. If you were to go look at his writing skills, he claims he's a writer. He's got 3 books, none of them ever sold. Not a single one. His first book was based off a game called Soldier's Fortune, where he claimed that he wrote the entire story behind Soldier's Fortune. Yet if you go and look at articles, you find out that they fired him because his writing was that garbage and they hired somebody else and he wrote the whole story for the game. But he wrote a book about how he did all that and about gaming and tried to sell it on Amazon, as well as he still claims that he was a part of that. Then he wrote 2 other books about like life betterment stuff, and they didn't sell at all, and some weird fiction story. I'm not sure why he does what he does. I think when he comes on to these places like Utah and stuff like that, I personally believe that he just does this because he's looking to make money. I don't think he gives a shit about anything. In fact, when he had his little debate with that other life coach guy, it was very clear that he was getting really angry and he was full of shit about half the stuff he was saying. I mean, I don't know about you, but just listening to some of the shit that comes out of his mouth is just bullshit. I don't know why he still gets a platform half the time where people take him seriously.
I haven't talked to him that many times. We haven't gotten into like.
That's fair.
We've had a lot of like cursory conversations about a bunch of different shit, but never really anything that had to do with any shit about really each other. Like we talked about YouTube stats on one stream that he had, shit like that.
Right.
Yeah,
but he's a con man.
He may be.
Honestly, if I'd seen more on these these messages of these agreements, so I remember. That's fair enough. I remember hearing this all on a stream before, and I remember thinking to myself, like, this guy's obviously received payment, or there's been at least a back and forth between them. But was there actually an agreement upon?
Yes, it's an entire contract. The contract was published by The Guardian on his own Twitter account.
Yeah,
you can go look at it. But I highly recommend, if you actually really want to see it, you can go to his Kiwi Farms thread. Now, he'll pretend that it's all lies and slander, but the owner of Kiwi Farms will tell you very clearly that they don't publish shit like that all the time. That guy has been harassed and threatened to shit all the time for what people post on there. But majority of the time, the shit is accurate or true. There's some trolliness at times, but most of the shit that comes out is either speculation or accurate and truth. And I recommend you go read the thread because all that stuff is there. I mean, it's a lot of documentation and stuff like that, but he's ran scam after scam after scam and try to get his foot into everything else. He's like a jack of all trades, but he's a master of none. But it's weird to me now that his next thing was to come on YouTube, and the first thing he's done is call out different YouTubers for no reason or get involved in blood sports and turn his channel from a coaching channel to a like a drama channel and try to get involved with a bunch of shit. I don't know why he does it, and I don't know why he's afraid to talk to me. He sent JF after me for a bit.
He sounds like, in all honesty, and this is my personal opinion on Coach Red Pill, what I've heard him on here and when I do hear him speak. And people, it's my personal opinion. I don't give a fuck what you think. I seem to be one of these chameleon YouTubers, is probably the best way of putting it, is where they'll change when they need to whatever they think is popular, but they don't really have an opinion on it. They're just saying to appeal to an audience that's big at the time, if that makes sense. Right. It seems to be at the time. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to go with and I think right now, because he realizes that alt-right rhetoric is very it's very controversial, and in that regard it's also quite popular. From a point of view, if you see where I'm coming from. So and I think that's what he's trying to jump on the bandwagon, or at least ride the coattails of, personally. That's my personal opinion.
Right. It's just, like I said, I don't have any personal gripes with the guy besides the whole JF thing. We're sending JF after me. But I don't understand why people don't press him on this subject. I mean, there's a lot of information out there that's available, accessible, that just shows how much of a garbage person he is. and he really likes to duck and hide. He likes to grab his fucking cigarettes and drinks suddenly when people start pushing him on it. But he doesn't have a problem sending his little goons to go fuck with people.
All right, there's one I brought this up to the Guardian too. When it comes to, the selling of his books, do you feel that he's a con artist in the selling of his books and stuff?
No, not really. I think after his first attempt with the actual con artistry with The Economist, he did try to write two. The other two books are fun. The only thing that he tried to con was the gaming book. His first book, when he wrote his first video game book, was a con because he lied and claimed he was a part of this Soldier's Fortune stuff. But if you actually look, he had nothing to do with it. He was fired by him, and they didn't even take his writing. But he tried to claim that he knew everything about gaming. And he tried to do like a coach life book on the inside and out workings of video games, like as if he knew it. And it was a little weird that he did that. And another thing is he made a movie, or he tried to make some movie, but he made a bunch of claims like he did a bunch of A-rated stuff in Chile or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, so don't quote me on that one. But he likes to either exaggerate or he'll do a full-on con to try to convince people to buy into what he's selling. And I'm not, like I said, I don't know why he does it. It's weird to me that he does that so often, but now he's moved it to YouTube. And I would love to talk to him about it and actually debate him on these topics, why he does it. And I really want to ask him why he sent JF after me personally for making his thread on Kiwi Farms, and why he pretends that it's doxing when there is no dox information. I never publish any information of his personal life in that thread. I just talked about his history on the internet and his history with his jobs that he likes to claim that he has, his independent contracting, if you will.
I've never seen the thread. That's
I recommend reading it. I know that Sargon and Jimbo, they fucked up, and I think V did too. They fucked up. All three of them fucked up collectively on it. I think Sargon pretended it was like not a dox, but he decided to show it on his stream and claim a bunch of shit about it. V claimed it was a dox, I think, or something like that. And then then Jim speculated, conspiracized that I was a part of some kraut thing or used or something when none of that actually occurred. It was very clear what was going on with the kraut stuff when I was told it. I just didn't care that it was happening. I thought it was funny. But other than that, I just want to talk to CRP really bad. I want to call him a pussy. He's a big, fat fucking pussy, and that he has to have JF do all of his talks for him when it comes to this subject. I don't know why he's afraid to talk about it. Professor Keen, if you ever get to talk to him, Tonka, he wants to talk about it quite a bit. He's willing to take emails. He'll take calls. He'll hop on streams. He'll talk to you. He'll talk to you all about how this guy stole thousands of dollars in monies and credit cards, and articles had to be written from economic forums and stuff like that to be written from this guy holding credit cards ransom. So,
all right. The obvious question after that, though, is then, like, did he legally go after him on anything?
No. Keen will tell you he didn't. I don't know why he didn't. Guardian would know why. I don't know why. I didn't pursue that question.
Stealing money and credit cards and stuff like that starts to get pretty heavy.
Yeah, I agree, which is why I was surprised that Keen said he did not press charges. But the contract exists. The entire conversation back then is still available. You can completely read it. Nothing's doctored. Nothing's edited. It's saved. You can go see it. So it does exist. I don't know why he didn't pursue it. I think Guardian said something about like he didn't want to get into a financial situation or anything. He just wanted to be done with it and walk away. But I'm not entirely sure on that. You'd have to ask Keen himself. You can, like I said, he has a Twitter. You can talk to him, and Guardian can get you in touch with him.
I think the best that we can do right now, in all honesty, like I've got this link, but I'd have to go through it honestly. But I think the best you could do is probably maybe try and book something for the future. I mean, Coach Red Pill watches the show. I'm sure it won't be that hard for him to make a small amount of time to come on here and actually talk to you.
But
like, I think that's reasonable.
I really want to know why he sent JF after me. Why he claimed I did all this evil shit to him when I didn't do anything. I haven't lifted a finger at the guy. I haven't even talked to him before.
What do you mean?
He's a big fucking bitch. All right, so John, I can't say his full name. JFG started contacting me and Guardian repeatedly, rather than CRP, to defend CRP's honor on this. He claimed that I doxed him. I did illegal stuff. He claimed I was harassing him and all this crazy shit. And he claimed that the Kiwi Farms, the website as a whole, and Kiwi Farms, the thread, it was all slanders, lies, and stuff. But he refuses to go read it. and then he had me on his stream to debate me. Then he kicked me after about 20 minutes when I asked him why he was so personally invested. Why couldn't he have me talk to CRP? And why was he threatening to make a video on me? So that was about most of it went. Then from there, he's targeted Guardian because he dismissed me and just said I was just a troll. So
I saw him and Guardian go at it for a while.
Yeah, they still do, and that it's still over the same thing. JF talks for CRP. CRP tells JF what to say, and then he goes on Twitter or he goes on DMs and talks to Guardian and talks to V. I'm pretty sure V can agree to this too because I've seen some comments between V and him as well. Talks to Guardian, talks to V, and says the same shit that CRP tells him to say to him. I don't know why he does that. It's a little weird, and he's made a couple threats quite a few times about it. And he's a fucking big bitch. He's a big pussy and won't come on here and talk to me. He pretends. He saw me in chat. He pretends I don't exist when I call him out repeatedly because he's a big fucking pussy. You know, Tonka, you've said my name a million times that I want to talk to him. And he's been on. He was actually on when you read a donation I made saying I wanted to challenge him. And he just scoffed because he's a big fucking pussy. And he asked if I was the Guardian.
But the thing is, we can't force a kumite. I think it's fair to try and admit possibly.
No, I know that, but I did want to share that story. I think it's very relevant because he likes to run around and pretend that he's such a good boy and he knows what he's talking about when he really doesn't know shit, and he likes to make up shit along the way, and he's a big fucking con artist.
I think the most we can do here is just kind of go, okay, so have you got information on this? What do you know? That's all we can really do here. We can't sit here and defend him. Like fucking, he knows more about him than I do. Trust me, fucking, yeah. I have my personal opinions on him, but it's just you could literally say it's a feeling. I'm open to be changed on that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go eat lunch. I appreciate you having me on, Tonka, and kind of sharing that. CRP, you are a fucking pussy. The fact you won't come on here, but you'll come on and try to talk all nice in the kumite, but you won't actually share blood, shows how much of a con artist and a bitch you are. The fact you can't even conversate with somebody because I know the same shit that's going on. You want to send JF, your little lapdog? You're a fucking bitch, dude. You're a fucking grown man. Like, you live in a fucking apartment. You pretend like you made a lot of money and you're retired and all this other stupid shit. You're a fucking pussy, dude. You're a pussy. You won't talk to anybody else. You want to send JF to go threaten me and other people on this behalf, on this little thing. You want to try to silence people, pretend that the KF thread doesn't exist. It exists, bro. It exists. Deal with it. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
No